What's happening YouTube? PokePhD here, and I am in fact back from my travels to Japan, to the homeland of Pokemon. And yeah, just to say it was an amazing trip. But obviously whilst I was out there, we don't take a day off. So I was out and about picking up, buying, collecting cards. I actually met someone out there. I don't think you'll be watching this video, but if you are, it was nice to meet you. But I met someone out there who I actually sold some graded a graded card to as well, which was interesting. But yeah, it was amazing. As I said, had a great time, and obviously a big part of that was just going and seeing all the Pokemon stuff, not just the cards, but going all to the Pokemon cafes and the Pokemon centers, and just seeing Pokemon and Pikachu and Charizard and all of these Pokemon just everywhere, everywhere you look. So that was, it was amazing. You just don't see that when you're on the streets in London, for example. Nowhere near as crazy as you see it there. So I just wanted this video to be me going through the majority of the purchases I made whilst I was out there. There's some I just don't have with me, or I put away, or yeah, as I said, there's some sealed boxes, for example, that are stowed away elsewhere. So I'll quickly discuss them, I guess, at the end, but obviously for that reason I won't be showing them off in the video. But to not waste any more time, as I said, I guess the majority of the stuff I am going to be showing off is going to be single cards, and a lot of them are in this box here. So if I just put this here, I'm going to quickly go through the kind of things that I picked out and bought whilst I was out there. So I'll obviously at the same time want to give an impression of what it was like, sticking to Pokemon. I'm not going to talk about anything outside of Pokemon. If I do mention it, just going to be quick and brief. If you want to hear about what Tokyo's like, you want to see what Japan's like generally, I'm sure there's loads of videos out there and loads of people talking about that kind of stuff. But of course here we're talking about Pokemon. But just to say, it's a little bit different buying Pokemon cards in Japan, obviously. The culture just buying stuff is different there, so that's just naturally going to happen. But for example, you walk into a store and they will just have I don't know the exact name for them, but they just have those kind of shells, but the ones for cards that are very narrow, but they just have the kind of thin shelving on them, so they'll put all the cards on there, usually sleeved, and then you basically look at them. They're all like locked as well, so you have to turn to someone and say, hey, I just need some help, can I check the condition of these cards? So you just point to a few cards. I pointed to a lot more than a few whilst I was out there, to the dismay of some unfortunate Japanese workers. But then yeah, you pick out the cards that you're interested in checking the condition of, and basically it was like a yes or no as to whether you wanted to purchase them or not. So it did make things a little bit tedious. I was like, oh, it's so much nicer just like ordering things online or going elsewhere. But it's a similar thing if you go to your LGS, where they might often just have rather than them being like vertically laid out, it'd just be underneath the kind of, I guess, the checkout, the desk, whatever. You pick out the cards again in a similar fashion. They don't label the cards to the exact condition like we would here. Some shops, a lot of the more common, the chain stores, for example, will label them, grade the condition of the cards from like A+ to like C, and A+ being like minty, gem mint, and C obviously being used condition. But otherwise they use like a white and yellow sticker generally across the board. So white sticker just means it's in good condition. There's no like necessarily any scratches or edge wear, whatever it might be. There might still be something there. There's a lot of inconsistencies done by hand, of course. There's going to be some errors there too. Otherwise, the cards that are in used condition, they'll either be labeled like on those big boards, or they will have a yellow sticker. So I'm sure I'll be showing off a couple of those. But generally, yeah, it's somewhat tedious, but it's just good fun, like picking out cards from the single cards just from those boards. And it was just fun finding them, different cards. There's huge variances in prices when you go from one store to another. Like I went to one store and basically every kind of special like special art rare, special illustration rare was like 80 yen, which for us in the UK is like 45, 50 cents, and obviously US probably 60, 70 cents. And then you go to the next store and it's about 250, 300 yen, and it's obviously that's like £1.50, for example. So there's a lot of variance across, from one store to the next. But so it was fun just kind of figuring out where to go and where, is the best place to pick up a specific card. So you'll see even from the cards that I bought, because I bought them from so many different stores, I'll buy the same card, but it will be like maybe even twice the price from where I bought it from elsewhere. So yeah, it depends where you are, depends where you go. Sealed product was another thing. The sealed product was just tough to find at good prices too. It was basically very similar to what you're getting when you're purchasing from here, because it's all, you're not buying directly from Pokemon, from Pokemon Center. You're buying from resellers, these LGSs, and they got to make a living, and they're selling at market prices, whatever. There were obviously some that were ridiculously overpriced, and don't even bother with those stores generally. But there were some, someone's going to come in and pay over retail. They're buying them off Pokemon or distributor, however they're getting them, so they would be slightly higher, or they're obviously going to have to sell slightly higher than what they're picking them up from. To cut a long story short, basically wasn't that great for sealed product. When it was available, it was usually overpriced, which basically just tells you anything that's reasonably priced will pretty much sell out. I did manage to find a couple of places that were good for sealed products, so I picked up a few boxes of like Rise of the Black Ruler, for example. I didn't pick up any Raging Surf, just because whenever I saw sealed product, I was like, I'm going for the Charizard set. So that's what I ended up doing. 151, just expensive everywhere. Didn't even bother with that, to be honest. And yeah, that's pretty much a summary of everything. I don't want to, again, spend too much time talking about stuff without actually going through the cards. So just to start with the actual cards as well. So we've got the V-Star Universe Poochyena, we have a Paris. So I picked up a lot of these just because they were quite cheap, so like 580 yen, roughly about £3.20, £3.50 UK side, so not bad price at all. Then we've got Duskull as well, we've got the Swablu, we've got even more, we've got Turtwig, Paris, Riolus, a couple of Riolus there, a few Charizards from, oh god, I forget the name of the set in English. Then we've got picked up a lot of the kind of special art rares or illustration rares from the new Scarlet and Violet sets. A lot, you will see. Heracross, I can't remember the name of this one. It's like, no, it's not Braxium or something similar. We've got a Choke, Aegislash as well. Got the Snorlax, and obviously this is what we got in the English ETB. Got a cute Caterpie there. Slowpoke, couple of Slowpokes there. Got this Pikachu there. That was probably about £7 or £8. The Palafins, the thing that evolves into Goldango, that was quite new. The set had just come out, so a lot of those were actually slightly overpriced. We've got some Houndours too. We've got the Kodak. We've got the Psyduck. We've got this awesome. I saw these. God, why am I forgetting? Groudons, and of course when I saw them I was like, oh, I need to buy these because they look awesome. Apologies that the stickers are there as well, covering a lot of the cards, but I thought you'd prefer to see the stickers and be interested in knowing the price, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to look at the more interesting cards. So we've got the Fletchinder too, a few of those. We've got this really nice Yveltal as well. I picked up these Raichus because they're expensive in the English set, and they were obviously a lot cheaper out there. Of course, the Japanese card is just cheaper anyway, but I thought, given how expensive they are in English, I was, you're still getting them cheaper. Japanese versions there. We've got a lot of Plusle and Minun too, again from the new set, so tiny tad bit more expensive. We've got these Marls, again another one. I did tend to pick up a lot of those that were expensive in English. I know that doesn't necessarily mean they're expensive. The Japanese counterparts are expensive, but I think for a lot of people, they might prefer going for the Japanese counterpart, given that they are better quality generally. I think that's just inevitable nowadays with Pokemon, the English prints, and then obviously if they're cheaper as well, with it, cheaper and better quality, we can't really go wrong there. We've got some of the Galarian Zapdos, Galarian Articuno. You can see here again, like 80 yen for cards. I just scooped up a lot of these. the Galarian Zapdos, Moltres too. We've got a few of these Pidgeys. Picked up these because I just like Pidgey. And again, you can see 100 there, and literally I paid 3 times the price, 200 yen more. At another store, we've got Pidgeotto. Again, just lots and lots and lots of these special illustration rares. I'll be honest, as I've already mentioned, it does kind of get tedious looking through all of the different boards of cards that they have, and it's fun. But when you've been to like your 50th shop and you've been doing it for like 12 hours, at some point I'm like, okay, I'll just take everything that you have that's this specific Pokemon that I like or that I want. Charmander, for example, if I came across that. Got some Charmeleons too. Get this properly into shot. Charmeleons. Obviously, all the starters, picked up as many of those that were reasonably priced. Bulbasaur there, looking really cute. Got some Ivysaurs as well. Didn't actually pick up the final Evos. Didn't find too many of them, if I'm being honest. Lots of the first and second stage, the Squirtles and the Wartortles, as you can see. Not a lot of Blastoises out there, and when I did see them, I recalled them just being expensive. There just weren't too many. I think people were just picking them up whenever they have the chance. So I picked up these Drowsies just because, for me, this is one of the best illustration rares that have come out in Scarlet and Violet so far. I have a few copies in English, and that's nearly probably 10 copies in Japanese now too. So we've got this. Let me just move this to one side. Give me a little more room. So we've got this Paldean Boros as well. There's another one. It's somewhat expensive in English, so up a lot of copies here. My favorite card of Scarlet and Violet probably so far. You can see how many of these I bought. Let me actually count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Completely unnecessary buying this many Scizor illustration rares, but one of my favorite Pokemon probably went a little bit crazy. And then 4 of these awesome Tyranitas, similar to the Raichu, same set too, where they are quite expensive in English. So I picked up quite a few of those. On to another good opportunity that I saw whilst I was out there were the Master Balls. The Master Ball promos. There weren't, in fact, too many of these either. You can see the Master Ball emblem right there. There weren't too many of them, as I said. So whenever I did see them and they were reasonably priced, I picked them up. So got 1,000 yen there. That's a little less than six quid. So got the Jigglypuff, got the Doduo, got a Ditto there, got the Venomoth, Bellsprout, Geodude, Voltorb, Bellsprout again, more Tangela, Weeping Bell, Pinsir, forgetting a Tentacle, and an Ivysaur. This Ivysaur is a little bit more expensive. That's just over 10 quid. £11 exactly, in fact, being 180 yen to the pound whilst I was out there. Let's continue. I also, for myself, just picked up a decent amount of Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. I don't get the opportunity to buy a lot of, or at least see a lot of Ultimate Rare Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards like I did out there. There were quite a lot. It was not difficult to find them, especially in some of the chain stores, because the smaller stores probably just focus more on Pokemon, but in the chain stores, for example, it was quite easy to find cards like this. So I'm going to try and get the lighting to work a little bit better. So we've got the Super Vehicle Jumbo Billroyd, I forget the full name. This is it's an absolute red Dragon Archfiend. Again, I'm not sure how familiar you'll be with the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. And again, it'd be so much easier if I obviously had some English text, but that's beggars will be choosers, right? Cyberdark Edge, that's the Venonminaga. We've got a rare value. I just bought this because I like GX as an hero. Exploded Dragon Wing, that's why you'll see a lot of heroes. So that's the Elemental Hero Storm Neos. Picked up this, which was pretty cool. This is the Dark Paladin. The OG Dark Paladins. I can't show codes so well. I might actually just take it out just because it'll be a bit easier to do that. It's not in minty condition. It's in okay condition, like probably near mint. But it was cool. But that was pretty much it. Did go a bit crazy, I guess, at some stores. We've got an Ancient Fairy Dragon, a couple of Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, DPT, Chaos Emperor Dragon, nothing from IOC unfortunately, some more Storm Neos, Magma Neos, Tempest, the Captain Gold, we've got Shien, had to get this obviously being out there, had to get a 6 Samurai card whilst I was out in Japan, of course, more of a Naminaga, another Cloudian, we've got a Wild Edge, another UFO Roid Fighter, The End Dragoon, we've got the Majestic Red Dragon, Nitro Warrior, quite a few Cyber End, Cyber Twins, that kind of stuff. Demise, because it's just Demise, it's awesome. A Aquos, a Blade Edge, another D End, and an FGD. Sorry for all you Pokemon only fans, but just wanted to quickly get through that. Picked up, as I said, some Yu-Gi-Oh! And thought it'd be interesting to show that. But back to the Pokemon. So, a few more V-Star Universe. Saw a decent amount of V-Star Universe cards. They seem to be pretty widely available. And just before I show off that Dendra, here is the first Unagaba we're showing off, I guess, which is the Umbreon Unagaba card. So, let me stick those 3 there. Unagaba 2. Picked up this Dendra. It's in pretty good condition. I'm not going to take it out the top loader just yet or at all. And you can see the price there roughly. So it's not like it was much cheaper than it would be buying here. But it's pretty mint. And I thought that should definitely grade a 10. So I bought that, and that's definitely going to be for grading. Whenever I get around to it, my grading pile is ridiculously large at this point, so bit of a backlog there, unfortunately. I have, in fact, made a few videos about grading cards and then just have been too busy to actually get those sent off to PSA, so I have been very naughty about that. Got a Shibuya. I didn't see too many of the kind of Pokemon Center Pikachu promos. There were a lot of Pikachu promos generally, like just random Pikachu cards that I've probably never seen before, but didn't see a few of those because if I did, I would be picking them up a lot more faster than I was. Here's the thing I mentioned about the yellow sticker, the white sticker, yellow sticker indicating some kind of damage to the card. Well, I checked, this card is perfectly fine. It looks mint to me. I took it out the sleeve and everything. Beedrill there too. Some free advertising for you there, Haruria, for the few people that are watching this video. But you can see here we've got a Machamp Alt Art. Pretty sure I paid a pretty good price for this. Obviously it comes in this plastic case here. Special card obviously needs a special case. Here's again A- rating on this Aerodactyl. I think the centering slightly off, otherwise it's mint. So 5,500 yen for that. We've got an unknown Alt Art. We've got the Charizard, the Sleeping Charizard. We've got a few Mewtwo's. Picked up these because I thought they were just reasonably priced. This card has seriously dropped in price from when it came out. It's kind of crazy how cheap it is now. Can't see it getting too much cheaper. V-Star Universe is bottom. Just seems like it's bottoming out right now for a kind of prolonged period of time. And yeah, you're gonna get cheaper. It's 15 quid, not even 15 quid for a Mewtwo V-Star from V-Star Universe. Crazy to say no to that. And then I picked up this secret rainbow rare Celebi and Venusaur starter and a Celebi, so some cool Pokemon there. Another one for the old grading pile, I think. And then on to the last couple of piles of cards. So again, more yellow, supposedly damaged cards, but they're probably more near mint. Here is a Cynthia's Ambition. Sorry, just completely messed that up, didn't I? Sorry, sir. It's the Cynthia. I was so confident with that as well, and I was so confident, but I was so wrong. This is the Cynthia card from V-Star Universe, and obviously from Crown Zenith too. I just Cynthia something. I picked up I already have this card in PSA 10, but I was like, it's like £3. The Pokemaniac have this in English in PSA 10. Got this in PSA 10 as well, but couldn't resist at that price. We've got I want to show this off a little more just with that beautiful texture, right? You can see there. Origin Form Palkia. Don't worry, I got a Dialga too. From V-Star. Look, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Hope you're enjoying this HD rares. You can see the Palkia just popping out. It's absolutely stunning card. At a stunning price too. We've got this Tapu Fini, we've got Lucario Melmetal. Here is the Dialga, here's the other Dialga. So a couple of Dialgas again. Picked up let me show this off a little bit more. Already have this in a PSA 10 as well. But probably get this graded too, and then be putting it straight on the old eBay. You can see again, just this delicious card. For that Giratina again, these V-Star Universe cards are ridiculously cheap. I mean, they could go down even more. Who's to say? And another Origin Form Palkia. So just quickly scoot these over before I bring together, I believe, the last pile of stuff I wanted to show off. Again, I do have more stuff. I do have more stuff. They just won't be shown off today. A few promos I picked up. So obviously the Scarlet Violet #1 promo in Japanese. Picked up this Utopia just because it's got the astral language on it. Anyone who knows anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! X will know about that card, but probably no interest to most of you guys. We've got a Bulbasaur illustration, so that's the 3 set. Again, like ridiculously cheap. And then a couple more Pikachu promos. It's stuff like this, right? You'll go into a random store and maybe generally things are a little bit overpriced or just nothing decent at the store, but they'll have something like this, which is obviously just an absolute bargain. So there's as I said, there's just stuff at stores that's just cheaper, and there's no real there's no one enforcing some kind of market value at all of these stores, right? So you go shopping around, and there's plenty of shops to go to. You'll find some great cards. Unfortunately, the stickers, the price stickers, are going to be covering the actual card arts on here, so I'll try and show off what I can, but these are all basically Unagaba promos. So at this store I was only allowed 4 of each, so I picked up the 4 mintiest cards of each one. We've got Flareon here, we've got Glaceon, they only had 3, Jolteon again, I think they just went 4 minties. We've got an Armored Mewtwo. Picked this up because I ordered a few Armored Mewtwo's a few years ago, and they were just absolutely battered. They were supposed to be mint, and they weren't. So I never ended up ordering any more of those, but saw it and was like, oh, I wanted this card ages ago and forgot about it. So a couple of Espeons, 2 EVs, and let me probably show these off a bit more. This is the Giovanni card from 151, the secret rare, special art rare. It's a beautiful card. It was some of these cards I just thought were bloody nice, which is why I bought them. They've got this Altart, Sneasler, Hisuian Sneasler. We've got another Altart Aerodactyl. You can see I paid a lot more for this than I did for the other one, although this is supposed to be like A+ mint condition. Really nice. I think that's probably hopefully guaranteed 10. We've got a couple of these. I didn't see too many of these Inteleons. They're from the weird high-class deck thing that they have there, similar to the Gengar, I believe. Well, I know the Gengar definitely is, and just like the Silver Dialga from Phantom Forces in Japanese as well, for example. So these are a bit weird, difficult to come across compared to some other Altarts. A few Pikachus, not the greatest prices for those, but wanted to pick some of those up. And then we've got the beautiful Magikarps, and you can see, of course, God, where is it? Where's that Gyarados? There you go, sorry. Right here. See the Gyarados' head there. Picked up, I believe, 3 of those Magikarps, couple more Raichus, couple more Pichienas, Swablu, more Oaks, and another Unagaba card, this time being the Glaceon. See, there you go. I do really like those Unagaba cards. There weren't too many of them out there. I picked up those that I could at a reasonable price, but a lot of the times when I did see them, they were more expensive than I could buy them for back home, so I didn't even bother with them. So when I saw them at a good price, I picked them up. You can see there. When I went to one particular store and I saw them in stock, I was like, I'll take every copy you've got, basically. But they did politely refuse me and only said I could take 4 of each, which is totally fair. You know, I wouldn't say I'm the first to complain about people scalping sealed product, for example, but you know, it's yeah, that's store policy, whatever it was. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of the singles that I bought. As I said, I bought some sealed boxes of, you know, the newer sets. Unfortunately, didn't pick up any 151. I already have too much of some of the other sets like V-Star Universe, so I didn't end up picking up a lot of that. And again, the sealed products wasn't necessarily well priced from what I saw. Nothing was really available at Pokemon Center. It was nice just ripping up packs, ripping 180 yen packs from the Pokemon Center. They gave you 5 packs per person per set, so that's very much like managed by them, but generally picking up sealed product was a problem. So if anyone is obviously planning on going out anytime soon, the best deals that you're going to get are going to be single cards by far, unless you're very lucky and come across the 1 or 2 shops that are selling sealed product at a good price. So my advice is focus on the singles, buy those singles that you've always wanted, or just buy singles. And then if you're gonna, you know, like myself, obviously, with the store, selling those on or grading the ones that you're interested in, there's just stuff that you'll see there, cards you'll see there, you're just not going to come across here too often. You might not necessarily see on eBay when you're searching for Japanese Pokemon cards. So just have fun with it, and yeah, stick and focus, focus on the singles, like a good TCG player does, right? Not buying sealed products. So yeah, that's everything for my video from my purchase out in the old country, out in the home of Pokemon. So thank you for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. I would very much appreciate it, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.